All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a really fascinating and honestly pretty complex prophecy from the book of Isaiah. It's all about a city with a mysterious name that, it turns out, holds the key to its entire destiny. Right off the bat, the prophecy hits you with this super ominous warning, a woe, aimed at a place called Ariel. You know, that word, woe, immediately sets the stage. It's a feeling of deep sorrow, of impending disaster. So that leaves us with two big questions, right? First, who or what is this Ariel? And second, what is this terrible fate that's supposedly coming for it? Okay, let's unpack this and figure it out. To get started, let's look right at verse 1. It's the best place to find some clues that will help us identify Ariel and really get a feel for the setting of this whole prophecy. And you know what? The verse itself gives us our biggest clue. Ariel is called the city where David dwelt. Well, anyone familiar with scripture or history knows that can only mean one place, Jerusalem. So what you're seeing here is a picture of a city just going about its business. You know, people are celebrating their yearly festivals, they're offering up sacrifices at the temple. It's a scene of total religious normalcy. But that's what makes it so chilling. This warning of doom comes right in the middle of everyday life. But here's the thing. That name, Ariel, it's not just a nickname for Jerusalem. No, it's way more important than that. It has this incredible dual meaning that is the absolute key to unlocking this whole prophecy. So on the one hand, you've got Ariel, meaning Lion of God. Think about that. It's all about power, strength, a kind of divine protection that goes all the way back to King David. It's a name that screams fierceness and victory. But then, and this is where it gets really fascinating, it has a completely opposite meaning. Ariel was also the name for the hearth on the great altar of the temple, you know, the spot where sacrifices were literally consumed by fire, a place of judgment. Do you see what's happening here? The city's entire destiny, its entire story, is packed into this one single word. It carries this incredible tension of being the protected Lion of God, while also being destined to become an altar itself, a place of sacrifice and judgment. Okay, so let's jump over to verse 3 and see how this all builds from a kind of symbolic warning into something very, very real and physical. So we start with that divine warning, the woe. And then bam, verse 3 tells us exactly what that woe looks like. We're talking about a brutal, all-out military siege. The enemy is going to build ramps, raise forts, and completely surround the city. There's no escape. And this is just a brilliant link, right? It connects this divine, almost abstract warning to a very real, very earthly consequence. The woe isn't just a bad feeling. It's a specific promise of military conquest. And what's wild is how this prediction of a siege becomes a theme, a repeating pattern in Jerusalem's history. Now, here's what makes this prophecy truly mind-blowing. It's often interpreted as having not just one, but three, count them, three separate historical fulfillments. And when we say fulfillment, we just mean a later event in history that seems to match the prophecy perfectly. For Isaiah 29, interpreters see this wording playing out again and again over centuries. And we're talking about three huge events in Jerusalem's history. Look at this, they span almost 800 years. And yet, they're all seen as pointing back to this one single prophecy from Isaiah. So you can really see the historical pattern play out here. First up, you have the Assyrians in 701 BC. They lay siege, but Jerusalem, against all odds, survives. But then come the Babylonians, and centuries later, the Romans. And in both of those cases, it's total destruction. It's a chilling echo of that prophecy of a city completely surrounded and conquered. Okay, so after all that, what are we supposed to take away from this? What's the big picture here after digging into just a couple of verses? Well, the biggest takeaway has to be how Jerusalem's destiny was completely wrapped up in that double meaning of its name, Ariel. The city's history is like a living demonstration of the name. It had moments of being the Lion of God, miraculously surviving the Assyrians, but it also had these devastating moments of judgment as the hearth of the altar, consumed by fire, by Babylon and then Rome. It's like the potential for both grace and wrath was always there. And that really leaves us with this huge, lingering question, doesn't it? How can a single prophecy, just a few ancient words written thousands of years ago, seem to map out centuries of history with such chilling accuracy? It's a question that really makes you think about time,
about destiny, and about the nature of prophecy itself.